Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. And we're continuing here at the St. Michael's Conference for Youth at the Manresa Retreat Center in Bloomfield Hills. Today for Tuesday, let's take a look at the lesson that's assigned from the Acts of the Apostles for evening prayer, chapter number 14, beginning at verse number 8. And there sat a certain man at Lystra, impotent in his feet, being a cripple from his mother's womb, who never had walked. And the same heard Paul speak, who steadfastly beholding him, and perceiving that he had faith to be healed, said with a loud voice, Stand upright on thy feet. And he leaped and walked. And when the people saw what Paul had done, they lifted up their voices, saying in the speech of the Lycaonian, that the gods are come down to us in the likeness of men. And they called Barnabas Jupiter and Paul Mercurius, because he was the chief speaker. Then the priests of Jupiter, which was before their city, brought oxen and garlands unto the gates, and would have done sacrifice with the people. Which, when the apostles Barnabas and Paul heard of, they rent their clothes and ran in among the people, crying out and saying, Sirs, why do ye these things? We also are men of like passions with you, and preach unto you that which ye should turn from these vanities unto the living God, which made heaven and earth and the sea and all things that are therein, who in times past suffered all nations to walk in their own ways. Nevertheless, he left not himself without witness, to that he should do good, and gave us rain from heaven and fruitful seasons, filling our hearts with food and gladness. And with these sayings scarce restrained they the people, that they had not done sacrifice unto them. And there came thither certain Jews from Antioch and Iconium, who persuaded the people, and having stoned Paul, drew him out of the city, supposing that he had been dead. Howbeit, as the disciples stood round about him, he rose up and came into the city, and the next day he departed with Barnabas to Derbe. Okay, so what a kind of a change, right? You go from 1 minute where the pagans have realized that by this healing miracle of healing a man who's never walked, right? So suddenly he's got the muscle tone and the physical ability to get up and to walk at Paul's command by the glory of God in the power of the name of Jesus Christ. This man is able to get up and to walk. And the people, the pagans, are so amazed at this miracle that they think that they're the gods themselves, that they're these pagan gods who've come down, Jupiter and Mercurius, and they want to make a sacrifice. The pagan priests want to sacrifice oxen to the two of them as if they are God. And of course, Paul knows that this is not true, and rushes out, he and Barnabas, to prevent them from doing the sacrifice, right? And uses it as an opportunity to preach the good news of God in Jesus Christ. But unfortunately, those who were inside the original covenant, those people who are trying to work against the gospel of God in Jesus Christ, come from the last town that they were at, come to this place, and they start to spread slander, and in fact, they stone Paul. All right, he talks about, otherwise in the epistles, Paul talks about how he's been stoned by other people. They think he's dead. They drag his body out of the city, but in fact, he is still alive. And then he and Barnabas move on to the next city, right? Jesus says, if the town doesn't receive you, wipe the dirt shake the dust from your feet, and to go on to the next town. Well, Paul's going to get up from having been stoned and shake that dust from his feet, he and Barnabas, and they're going to move on to the next city. So today's Tuesday, as I mentioned, I'm here at the Retreat Center, so there'll be no public worship at St. John's Church this week. But of course, I hope that you are praying for us, that praying for the God's grace as the children and the staff come to know Jesus Christ more and more, and to love him more and more. And I know that I am praying for all those who are watching these morning meditations as well. And may God grant us a Tuesday that is full of blessings.